Well, hello my YouTube friends and family. So this video is a little different. I did something and I finally accomplished it, and I want to thank 3 channels of crafters that actually I'm dedicating this video to, because this is why I was able to do what I did. I first want to thank Bonny and Clive, because she's the true meaning of a junk journaler. She will not buy the paper. She actually uses things that she can utilize. And I love her channel. It's so amazing because she literally goes to places and finds scraps. I only wish we had the stores around here that she gets to shop at. To get, it's not like Michael's and Joann's, it's like reverse cycling things, like things that people throw away. I think that's just so awesome that there is actually a store that you can go in and buy pieces of wallpaper and things like that to turn into junk journals. I just think that's amazing. I'm a Cool Mom is the second channel. She did a video that just blew me away by using graphing paper on how to do your points whenever you go to signature. I haven't done a signature video, a journal yet at the time. So I was watching different videos to figure out what would work best for me. And when she used that graph paper, it just was wild, because I hate to measure. I mean, it's not that I can't measure. I just hate measuring things all the time. I'm more like a pinch of this, a dash of that. I come from old school teachers. Like my grandmother, when she would make recipes, that's what she would do. It was never like a teaspoon of salt. She would just, with her fingers, kind of like, I don't know, some Italians cook that way too. And they just know. And so it's really hard for me to sit down and measure things when I'm so used to just winging everything. And the last channel, because, I'm a Cool Mom, she did it with graph paper to make it a little easier where you don't have to measure. You just use the squares on the graphing paper. So I really loved that video. And Nick the Booksmith, I come across the channel by accident, and I just loved the steps that they showed. And I will link the videos below that actually gave me the courage to finally do my very first signature book. And yes, I did it last night. Now, I used something a little different. I found this, it's called cord. So I didn't use like a cotton sewing thread. It was a cord. It's like a multi-pack that I found of different colors when I was at Walmart. And I thought, this looks strong enough that it would hold book pages. So this is my very first signature book. This is a practice book. It was a book that was falling apart that came into my bookstore, and I thought the cover was kind of cute. And I had posted a package. It was like over a pound of papers in my Etsy store for fillers. And I used some of those papers like that's in that pack, but I also added papers I dyed, which are not in that pack. So this is what I did. Combining all 3 of these channels, it gave me Bonny, which the papers in here are not bought, except for, of course, the dyed, because it's tight, it's computer paper, printer paper. But the rest of it came from used books that were falling apart that I utilized. I'm a Cool Mom. I actually did use her graphing paper. I cut it into the center and marked the spots where my awl would go to do my signature. And Nick the Book, I watched the video. I will be linking below, because she has like 3 styles of books in this particular video. But she actually did the actual puncture into the back of the book. And I followed the very beginning of it too, book 1, where she did material and showed you how to lay it out. So what I did was I found this material that I had. And then in the back here, she used masking tape, but I used a different color tape down on the bottom, which actually I wish I kind of would have put a piece of cardboard back here and cut it to make it a little bit more up, because it is kind of deep, the arch of the book is. But I wish I would have brought it out more, like make it humped up more. But I ended up doing Mod Podge like she showed down the center after you put the tape in, and then laid out the material and cut it. She measured the material, which is good, because material sometimes is really rough to put in unless you do measure it. I actually didn't measure it. I actually cut a piece when the book was flat with nothing in it. and then went back over it after around the edges and cut, and you can definitely tell. So measuring this probably would have been wiser because I have parts that hang out a little bit, but that's okay. I'm good since it's my first and it's just practicing. But she had it all laid out how to do the material, and then these are the pages I put together, and I will do a flip through of my very first signature journal. This was a paper that I dyed, of course. This came off of the front of a book, and I only did one signature in this of 25 pages, which gives you like 50 folded. And then this was a calendar page of a car. This is something that I'm going to be adding in a future pack. This was out of a old book that came in. And then this was from a stamp book. This is from like the maps. And I do have a pack with some of this stuff. And I don't have the calendar page with the cars in it. But I do have a lot of this that's in there. And I'm learning on how to do this. And I thought some of these old cars were cute. And then this is off of another page. Is Treasure Island. This was already aged. And then this was a dyed paper I did. This was out of a book. And I liked it not just because of the colors, but he looks like he's into a deep thought or maybe having a little depressed day. And that's okay. You know, it's healthy to have ups and downs. And then, of course, my favorite book of the Bible is Job. And I had a little Bible that fell apart, so I used that page. And I had a Dear John book by Nicholas Sparks that the cover was like damaged and some of the pages were ripped. So I used the Dear John page part. And then this is a colored page I did. This was actually out of a magazine, and I thought that wedding cake was absolutely beautiful, so I just stuck it in there. And the other side, it has Let It Snow, and then it's another cake. Excuse me, it was a recipe magazine. Excuse me. So another thing that I really love is that before you put your signatures in, after you get your paper ready, you know, your random papers put together, which to me, that's always been the hardest part, even when you're doing digital scrapbooking to real scrapbooking offline, is getting the pieces. Once you get the pieces together, it pretty much goes pretty smooth. It's just getting what you want. So this here is because I do own a small business. I thought this page was perfect. How to run a small business came off of a business book that was falling apart because I wanted, instead of recycling my books, because we don't have recycling bins where I live anymore. We used to. I'm recycling them into this. And then this is another page. It was just a front page off of another book. But before you do your signatures, like you put your paper packs together, and all these were in order. So before you actually do your signature, you want to spread these papers out. Like make sure you have one up, one down, because it gives it a variety of up and down pages when it's sewed in. And I think this is very cool. And then this was out of I think a kind of like a junior kids dictionary. I love it because it's like more colorful. It's got flowers and stuff in it. And then this is a map page. And then this says literature. This is kind of a mixture of everything I like. And I thought this was really cute because this was I love Danielle Steele. I've been reading her books since I was 15. So this says to Popeye, my first real love, my life, smile on my face, bless you forever with all my love. She always used to do dedications. She put Olivia or Olive, like Popeye and Olive, but she would do dedications in the front of her books, and I just thought that was really cute to add. And of course, I have the horse page. And then this was another one. Like before I did them, I made sure my pages were ups and downs. Look how cool this looks. This is the book I did, the 3 o'clock dinner. It was a custom book that I did for a birthday gift, which I will have a video. It's finally completed. I'll do a video on that again because it's done after the person gets it. And then this was a food one. Of course, I love pizza, so I stuck that in there. And look how layered this is. It goes up, down, middle to middle. So this is what I like about moving the papers up and down. Now this is an upside down envelope, and this is the kind with the adhesive. And why I did this way, I left it on instead of gluing it and did it upside down because I'm actually going to turn this into a tuck area. So you can remove part of this and leave the rest of it and have it stick on the one end. And you can turn this into a tuck pocket like this. So it's not just the envelopes that you lick that you can, you know, moisten and have it to the sides of it. It's also these types. You can use these types too. And I saw it and I thought, you know, I'm going to try this and see what I can do with it. Or you could even glue it in like this on the bottom and turn it to a tuck pocket this way. So, I mean, there's so many things you can do with paper. It's amazing. Or you could even go down like this. Well, no, I wouldn't do it that way, but maybe backwards. I don't know, there's lots of different styles they have. So this goes through here, and look how cool this is. So this is my center page because I plan on covering this. And when you do your signatures, you actually, like I have a big needle and I put this cord into it and you sew it into the middle. Then you go, you put your awl in and you poke your holes first. At least is how I did it. I put my needle through, pulled it through, took it down through this hole and back up through this one. And then clear at the top, I went back through. And then when you're done, you push it back over top of the middle again and you tie it. It's that simple to do signatures. I was making a mountain out of a molehill, make it look harder. So after I tied it off, I decided, what am I going to put in the center of it? Because you can actually glue these two pages together, which I've seen some people do, or they put cards in the center and do this. And you can glue this side and this side, make this a pocket, and you can hide the signatures where people can't see them. Or you can just leave them show and make them fancy. Like I can leave it like this, like up in the air, leave this as dangles. I thought, you know, I'm going to let this show since it's my first one. So I took and put the beads on, tied knots underneath of them, and pulled the beads down to give it a look. And of course I picked blue because it's my favorite color. And I just thought this is so cute. I love the little dangles hanging in the middle. So to me, if the signatures show or not, it's no big deal. So then this is the other side of the signature once you sew it in. I'm sorry if I'm talking fast. I don't mean to. So these are the other sides of the pages. And you can do anything you want with these. This is the whole point of a junk journal. You can have plain pages to write in. Like I have some plain, I could do some writing. I could do writing here. Or I could just decorate it. I can cover these pages, the pages up that I don't really care if they show or not. And I could put pictures. I could put other pages over top of them and glue to them. You can do whatever you want. But I really, really love this. It's like now I have done binders, I have done altered books, and I have done a signature. And it's like, it's wonderful. A great way to turn a book, instead of letting it in a landfill, turning it into something completely different you can utilize. And of course, this had to be upside down. This was like, I think a 2016 calendar, but it's upside down because it made the cars right side up, which I'm okay with that. And then you can put pockets here and there. So there is my first signatured book. Now, when you hear people talk about 3 signatures, 5 signatures, they can actually do, I could do 2 more sets of papers in here if I wanted to, and I could squeeze one here and squeeze one here. And the signatures don't have to be done this way. I have seen them done crisscrossed. I have seen these done where people have actually put buttons on this part as they were sewing the books and beads to make this fancy. I have seen people just leave it like this and then cover it with lace, or they just show the signature. It's all in the eye of the beholder. But one thing that's great about this cover is it's this skinny, so that when I go to add pockets and different things like along the bottom and the sides, this book will become puffier. But I like it that it's thinner, because if you start out with a bunch of pages, your book is not going to close like this. It's going to be like sticking out and huge, and some of them are hard to bend and hard to hold the more you add to them. So I do like having a thinner book to where you can add stuff to it and make it to where it's, because this book, you know, being one signature and as small as it is, I mean, 3 would work, but you wouldn't be able to embellish it real heavily, because if you did, it's going to make it puffier. But this has been a fun journey, and I so appreciate so many crafters out there that share a lot of their ideas on what goes into all of this, because it's a lot of work. And I just want to show my appreciation. You know, it's like, because this is a lot of fun, and it's definitely, when you have a negative world at times, to lose yourself in something that's so fun to do and beautiful to do. This is like a great stress reliever for me. I think anything to do with arts and crafts is just an awesome thing. But there you go, guys. So I wanted to share my first signature book with you guys. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to finish. And this is what will be done with the journal that I'm working on for the state of West Virginia. So when I'm done with this, I can signature it right here, because it can be a book, it can be a folder, it doesn't have to be a book. You can even just do a set of papers and signature them. So that's what I mean by all these pages being signatured in a book, for people who did not know what I was talking about. This can all be sewed in and made into a travel journal. So this is why I opened my Etsy shop with these as a fundraiser for the backpack program for kids. And I'm charging $10 a piece for these in my Etsy store, because I just think it's amazing that you can create a book to travel, or a book as a memorabilia. I think it's awesome. But that's just me. I'm just so excited. But with that, you guys have a great day. And I'll probably be back with a couple more videos that are shorter. And thank you guys for sharing your time with me. Bye. Mwah.